Look at your bank account just now. If you're not happy with the numbers on your bank account, there's a few hard truths you need to understand why your bank account is like that and what you can do to change it. Thing is, your bank account reflects who you currently are, not who you are in the future. There's a few hard truths you need to understand is to improve your bank account, you need to improve yourself. Income does not far exceed your personal development. See, the thing is, everybody wants an above average income. Who doesn't want an above average income? I'll ask you that right now. Do you want above average income? Who wants a less than average income, right? But the question is, are you an above average individual to deserve having above average income, right? Some hard questions, right? We have to be super, super honest because in reality, we all think here's the key word, we all think we deserve an above average income. But let's be honest, have we actually put ourselves in a position to earn that kind of money or to be valuable in the marketplace to that amount? You have to be honest, right? If we're not honest with ourselves, think about what you've done in your career to this moment in your business. Do you have a business in your current job? Have you become valuable to be worth an above average income? Now, let's clarify. When I talk to you about value, there's so many different values that we can have in our life. Now, we could be valuable in the eyes of our family, fantastic. In the eyes of God or whoever else you believe in, that these are all values. You could be a valuable father. These are all valuable. But we're specifically talking in this narrow part of our life called value in the marketplace, our financial income, our financial compensation. Is it possible? This is what I was understanding when I was a little bit earlier in my self development and financial benefits that I was getting at work. And I was really frustrated why somebody, and I was really confused. How can somebody earn twice as much money in the same time as somebody else? They're doing the same work, they're from the same university with the same degrees, in the same building, they're going through the same traffic, they eat the same food like other people, they don't eat it in some other weird way, but yet somebody is earning more money in the same amount of time. So it's not a case of having more time. I had someone saying, I wish if I had John's time, I would do a lot more better. Well, in reality, we can't get someone else's time. So how do we increase our value in the marketplace? Because again, you've already said you want an above average income. See, once I understood this, it allowed me to increase my own income and my livelihood. I no longer work with anybody that is paying per hour or even a salary. When you work in your own business, you've increased your value. So this is what we're going to do in this episode here. I'm going to see what is your value and what is it that you, first of all, what is it you think you're worth, and in reality, how is your value in reality? Because if you look at your bank account and it's a couple £100 and that's all you have at the end of the month, then let me be honest, in the marketplace, your value is very, very low. Okay, it's very low, regardless of what you think it is. So how are we going to benefit and how are we going to change that? Number one, are you in a job? You answer that. Are you in a job? Yes or no? Do you want to be in a job? Do you want to remain in the job? Or do you want to start your own business? In my personal opinion, having worked in corporations throughout my whole career, whether it was in government, whether it was a private, a small business, the amount of money you get paid is not based on the time that you put in. It's based on how much of the skill that you're putting in that time. So let's, for example, somebody who starts the job and he's working at McDonald's and he's brushing the floor, okay? He gets, I don't know, $5 an hour, something like that. Okay, he's brushing the floor, brushing the floor. Now, if he comes with a positive attitude and just smiles, he's probably get more money. Why? Because he's more valuable. People, people at his work will appreciate him more, and they will. If there's someone that they have to let go at the end of the month, this person now has got more value by just what showing up with a better attitude. Yes, he can do the job like everybody else, but his attitude has increased his value. People stay at their job and they think they're going to they do the very minimum because they say, well, if this is all I'm getting paid, what else did they expect me to do? I'm going to show up late. I'm going to leave early. Or what else did they expect me to do? They're paying me this much. They're paying me nothing. What do you expect? See, it's that attitude that's going to keep you stuck and broke. It's that attitude that's going to leave you always on the bottom pile of the promotions, of the opportunities in your workplace. You have to come with a positive attitude, regardless of what they're paying you. Regardless. I've been in workplaces where there's like six guys all working in one job. Then there's some downscaling that needs to take place. Guess who the boss is going to take off the rota? The guy who shows up early, does the extra, stays late, or the guy who shows up bang on time, extends his lunch break, leaves early, right on 5 o'clock, he's in the car park. Why? Because he's like, if this is all they pay, this is all I'm doing. Those are the guys that end up leaving first in the job and not having a job. Now, let me ask you directly, are you that type of person that does the minimum effort of work where you are currently? The minimum level work? If so, because you think to yourself, we have this ego, oh, I'm worth a lot more. But why? You haven't deserved it. You haven't done anything. So this is how we're going to change it. Start putting in the extra work wherever you are in your job. If you're brushing, if you're a janitor, if you're frying chips, do more than you get paid for. That's the key philosophy in life that's got me to where I am. Do more in life. To having my own business, moving country, living in, having my own office. Right now, I'm in my office. I do my own work whenever I want to do it. Spend time with my family. It's allowed me to break free from having to ask someone for annual leave to spend time with my family. And if you want to break free from your corporate 9 to 5, start your own business. It starts with your mindset and your philosophy on working to increase your value in the marketplace. I speak to so many entrepreneurs who want to start their business or want to be entrepreneurs and want to start their business, and they're given a half-assed effort at their current job. If you start off half-assed at your current job and magically think you're going to be handed a business and then you're going to upskill and you're going to be like the super boss and be all motivated, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You need to practice when the values are small. What I mean by values, I mean if you come into your work, okay, if you come into your work early, even though you hate it, even though they pay you like a small amount of money and you don't enjoy it, you need to practice the repetition of coming in early and doing more than you get paid for. Because guess what? When you start a business, do you think the first day you start a business, you're going to make loads of money? No. You're going to be paid what you're worth. Let's say you think your expectation is $50 an hour. Okay? You think when you start a business, you're going to even be paid anything? You're going to be paid zero. Zero. Nobody's going to pay you. So if you think that you've got this ego and I'm just going to be paid $50 or I'm not coming in basically, how are you ever going to start a business? Because you're genuinely volunteering when you start a business. You are volunteering for a year, 2 years. People cannot be bothered going through all of that. They just want to get paid what they're worth immediately. You need to build value. You need to see yourself 6 months ahead, a year ahead. Where will you be? Because currently, if you're stuck in a job and you're broke, okay, and I completely get it. If you're stuck in a job, you're broke, and you're working 9 to 5, you get home 6, and then you're like, I have no time, I have to relax, I have to get something to eat, then it's time to go to bed or watch Netflix and then go to bed, and then it just repeats and it repeats, and you have no time. When is it ever going to change then? When is it ever going to change in the last 5 years? Has it ever changed? Probably not. Is it going to change? Not with that attitude. You need to be putting the effort. If I could show you right now it is 10 past 3. Can I show you here? Let me show you right now on my phone. Oops, I've got my son there. Can you see that? 0311. 0311. Okay, 03 in the morning. I am here because I love to be here, talking to you guys, working on my business, promoting what it is to be an entrepreneur, the reality of it. 3 in the morning, 10 past 3 in the morning. Crazy, right? I don't need to be here. You know, I left that a long time ago where I needed to rely on somebody for an income. And you guys are wanting to break free from your 9 to 5, and yet, you're getting into work bang on time, leaving early with a bad attitude. That is not how you make it out the other side and start your own business. Honestly, so many entrepreneurs want to start a business and they come to me. I give them all the advice. and then they don't show up for our next catch-up meeting, our next consultation meeting. I give them a few step-by-step things to do for the next week, such as come up with your business name, show me your plan, all of these kind of things. They don't do it. They don't do it. So how are they expecting anything to change in their life? It drives me absolutely insane. You want to improve your life, but you're not doing the efforts. So we go back to the very first question I said. If you look at your bank account just now, even open it up just now, but you probably know what's in it to the penny. If you're not happy with what you see in your bank account, it's all on you to change that based on your attitude and your philosophy on how it is that you show up to work and how it is that you see the future, because your income is not going to exceed beyond your personal development. So let me ask you then, how how much time are you putting into personal development just now? How many hours are you spending reading a book? Let's not even do it on a weekly basis. Let's do it on a daily basis. Are you spending 15 minutes reading a book? 3 pages of a book? Okay, if the answer is no, then that's just embarrassing. How are you expecting to get more out of life? How are you expecting that? Okay, if you expect to get more out of life, you need to be more. You need to do more, and not just what they pay you, but extra out with that. Now, let me tell you, when I started, when I was after university, about 19, no, sorry, I started uni at 19, so I finished at 24, 23, 24. Started my first corporate job. Wow. I was in office doing sales. It was not sales calls, it was customer service calls. So people would call in with issues with their building repairs, drainage issues, the plumbing issues, they needed a joiner, all of those kind of things. I would take the phone call, I would listen, I would give advice, I would tell them where to call, I would call the engineer, that kind of stuff. For me, like, look, listen, I had went to university 4 years. I came out thinking, you know what, this is a shirt and tie kind of guy. This is me now. I'm on the management. I'm going to be earning like 50,000 plus. I ended up on that kind of money. I ended up on £20,000 a year. You know what? That's like minimum wage. Minimum wage, right? Minimum wage. From that job, I'm like, my expectation is up here. Yeah, I'm getting paid down here. You see what I mean? Straight away from that job, I'm like, I should be up here, and my ego says I'm up here. My qualifications, yeah, the job I'm at is down here, 20,000. I want to be on 50,000. Okay, so the way of of increasing my value in this job, well, number one, looking at the pay scale and realizing that my boss isn't even on that money. My boss is on about 35. So what's the chances that I'm going to be paid 50,000 if my boss, who's been there for 12 years, is on 35? What's the chances? It's not going to happen, is it? So stayed in that job for maximum 6 months, learnt some office etiquettes, learnt some admin duties, and then straight away I was on to the next job. Boom, moved up on my career ladder, moved up on my pay scale. I went all the way up my pay scales I got to £50,000 a year income in a project management position. But by that time, I had burned 5 years in corporation, 5 years. I got to my level, 50,000. I was in that job 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks maximum, 1 or 2 weeks. And I said, I've had enough of corporations. And all throughout that time, I'd been working on my business. And then at that point, I decided to go all in on my business. I got to my level, which I thought that was it. I'd be happy at 50,000. Turns out it's not even about the money, it's about the way you live. I was on team meetings from first thing in the morning all the way till evening, and it was just terrible. I did not enjoy it. I'd done 2 weeks. It was like on spreadsheets. This was in COVID time, like 5 years ago. It was on COVID time, so spreadsheets, all of that, and it was not what I wanted to do. It's not about the money. It was genuinely not about the money. And currently, right now, you think it's about the money. When you don't have much money, you think it's about the money. It's not. Honestly, it's not. What you want to earn enough money that is valuable that you feel you're getting paid your worth. It's as simple as that. So you could be a $20,000, $30,000 a year person. Fantastic. You're happy with that? You're doing your best? Fantastic. You're happy with that. There's somebody else that's on 100,000, 200, 500,000, 1 million wage. Okay, that is the level that they have developed themselves to. And that's, everyone's got different level. The question I have for you, Are you currently being paid to the maximum of your value? Okay. Again, look at your bank account, how much income you've got coming in. Is that the maximum of your ability? Or do you think you could be doing more? Think you can be doing more? That's the sad part when people think they can be doing more and they actually know they've got more in them and they're not. That's the tough part, right? This is where we help entrepreneurs with their mindset and we put a plan in place. If you click on the link around this video, I'll show you exactly the step-by-step plan that got me starting my own business and being paid exactly what I'm worth today, which is, to be honest, it's the time freedom, not to be able to have to answer to anybody. It's the time freedom. So click on the link around this video and come into our community and I'll show you step by step how to do that. I hated not being able to go on annual leave. I remember this one time vividly. Annual leave, asking another man, another grown man like me with a family like me, if I could go on holiday, and we couldn't. Given the time, it was like 3, 4 days here. The flight would come back at a certain time, and we couldn't make it. That was you feel less of a man when you have to ask for annual leave and you get refused. Man, that sucks. That sucks, honestly. Really does suck. And you might be in a position where you're asking your bosses for annual leave, and you honestly just having enough money not to have to ask somebody to go on annual leave is worth like £1 million by itself. Not having to ask, because currently, if you're in a position where you're having to beg and plead and count your annual leaves, we had a calendar and we had to like say, okay, I've got 30 days left, take like a long weekend. All right, okay, now I've got like 27 days left, and it's counting down. It's like almost like counting down your freedom. And then I had a period where I used up my annual leave in like 6 months, and I have no days left for the next 6 months. You know how depressing that is? Knowing the next 6 months you cannot take another day off because you've used up your allowance of life. That's crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. It comes back to that original question. What is your value? The chances are your value is probably pretty low in the marketplace. Not what you think you're worth, not what your ego says you're worth, but in reality. Okay? And if you want reality, look at your bank account. That's reality. That is what you're worth. And it's probably not that great, right? In my personal opinion, no job can give you the satisfaction. No job can give you the satisfaction of building something yourself, working for yourself. This is the reason why I showed you I'm up at 3 in the morning. I went to bed. Oh, I went to bed at 11 p.m. I was in bed at half 10. I had so many ideas. Closed my eyes. It was like 11 p.m. and I was up by 1 a.m. That's crazy. I got up, had some breakfast, freshened up. I was out the house by about 2:30, and I'm in office for about quarter to 3. Started these videos at 3 o'clock. Insane. Look at the time now. 20 past. So that's 0320. 0320. Now you tell me who gets up at that time with passion and energy for the work that even if they get paid for it, that nobody gets up. It's a different type of energy, honestly, different type of energy. I could get up at 8 a.m. having slept 12 hours when I was back in my corporate jobs, and I would still be shattered. Here, I've slept 2 hours. I've slept 2 hours, and I'm up bright and early, working for myself. Had my coffee, got my water bottle, got my notes, got everything here that I need. So, you know what I mean? This is what it's like to work for yourself. This is what it's like. You work with passion. It doesn't matter if you're earning 500,000, 1 million, 10 million. I would still be here. I would still be here recording these videos, speaking to my audience, speaking to my entrepreneurs, because I've been there. I know exactly what it's like. You are stuck and broke because you are not increasing your value in the marketplace. And to be honest, the secret to all of this is the value. Let me put it this way: you're doing the job that is not your superpower. Okay, you have value, and I always say this to entrepreneurs: you have knowledge in your head that if you leaned into that knowledge meaning you have a hobby, you have an expertise, and if you leaned into that and you were to create an online course and then to be able to sell that knowledge, which would sell whilst you're sleeping, day and night, that's what it is. It's like someone who's an expert at being a plumber, but yet they're doing a roofing job. They're on the roof, but the expertise is being a plumber. Or they're a world-class chef, but they're driving an Uber. Okay, this is why their value is low in the marketplace because their skill isn't aligned, and this is why there's a gap. And I think that's probably why you're in the same position as well, and I was as well. I did not align. I was doing customer service phone calls when I could be online entrepreneur teaching people and showing people how to start businesses like I had started. That that's why it wasn't aligned, and that's why my income, my expectation was up here, my income was down here because they weren't really aligned. I wasn't focusing on what is my superpower. You probably don't know what your superpower is, but let me tell you, it's the knowledge that you have in your head from your past experiences, your hobbies, things that you're interested in reading that you do already. Let's say you're reading on blogs how to you're really ripped guy. You go to the gym and you understand exactly all these macros and these exercises and how to get like big muscles and be super fit. Or you've got some kind of achievement that you've done. You've ran a marathon. You've went on like a big hike. You do camping, wild swimming, something like that. Let me tell you, there's thousands of people around the world that would love the knowledge that you have in your head. And that's exactly what I help entrepreneurs do in this community. Take the knowledge from out of their head and put it into an online digital course. They make beautiful videos like this and they can speak with passion because they love what it is that they do. And that's how you start to align your income, which you want up here, and your skill currently you're getting paid down here. You start to increase that, and now you start getting paid what you're worth because you're aligning your skills and your expertise to something valuable in the marketplace, not just answering phone calls, not just dusting the floors or flipping burgers. You align your superpower with what the market is needing. And to be honest, the market needs each and every single one of us to lean into our superpower. That's it. Every one of us is unique and skilled in a certain area of life, and that is what the marketplace needs because we are unique. No one else can do what I'm doing with the type of energy that I do it. Why? Because I love it. And same with you, there'll be something. Maybe you're a super duper gamer in this one game, and you just pass all the levels like 100% in like record speed. There's actually a thing called speed running, speed speed running a game. So it's these experts that they keep going through the same level like super efficiently. They can get through a level in like 30 seconds. There's people that complete full games and there's people that are just like super efficient in one level, speedrunners or something like that. So people can just be experts at that. And I'm going to ask you, what is your expertise? Not at your job, but your expertise outside of that, your hobbies. Now, do you think if you were to talk passionately about that, well, let me just tell you, I'll tell you the answer. If you were to speak passionately about that, there'll be 1,000 other people around this world that would love to buy and love you to mentor them. However, you don't know the steps how to get there, and that's exactly where I come in and our community comes in. Click on the link around this video, join our community. I'll get your value from where you think it should be, okay, and where it currently is, and we'll up it, okay. We won't dumb you down or bring your expectations high at lower. We'll keep your expectations high, and we will match it up here. Because currently, you're tired and you're broke, because not because you're out of ideas, but because you're not matching your skill levels. So click on the link around this video. I'll see you in the community, and honestly, let me tell you the other side of starting your own business. The other side of it is the freedom to do exactly what you want. You can get up like me at 1 in the morning and be in your office at 2 in the morning if you want. Or if not, you can be in bed or on the beach at 10 a.m. and do whatever you want. Who cares? Because you're making money online and you get to live a life of freedom and your passion. Click on the link and I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you inside of our community.